Hi friends, how are you today? Sally and I are so glad you're here. It's our favorite part of the day when we get to spend this time with you. Sally, are you ready for your special time? Oh, she is. Do you know what she's ready for? You're right. She's ready for this treat. Here you go, Sally. You enjoy that treat while I say hi to our friends out there. Hi, Carlota and Max and Eloise, Boyce and Ellis, Henry and London, Freya, Peyton, Olivia and Sloan and Sutton, Sebastian and Lucy, Oli and Ruby, Sammy and Millie, London and Adeline, Everly and Kinsley, Blossom and Larky, Reese and Brand, Michael and Milo, Ray Yu and Sophia, Maverick and Avery, Dakota, Pam and Jason, Terry and Judy, Andy, Kristen and Mindy, Vesper and Thea, Sammy and Millie, Brooke and Will, Lizzie and Eli, Stella, Emma, Addison, Brooklyn Ray and Henry, Harper May, Soren and Johan, Fife and Ford, Flinny and Alexa, Eli and Sam and Nolan, Maya and Eleanor, Elliot and Emma, Becky and Bella. We're so glad you're here. Sally, are you ready for our story? I think she is, friend. Are you ready? We have a fun book. It's Ella, the Elegant Elephant. That's a little bit hard to say. Try to say it with me. Are you ready? Ella, the Elegant Elephant. And it is written by Carmela and Stephen D'Amaco. All right, here we go, Sal. Here's Ella. Somewhere in the great, wide Indian Ocean lie Elephant Island, hidden by fog so thick that no human being has ever found them. Sally, can you lay down so our friends can see? Lay down, please. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. Okay. On one of the islands lived a shy little elephant named Ella. She loved her mother's new bakery and their cozy apartment above it. But they were new to town and Ella was worried. I wonder why she was worried, friends. School started in only 2 more days. Ella was nervous about making new friends, so her mother suggested that she do something constructive. But Ella didn't know what. Well, there's still quite a bit of unpacking to do. Why don't you give me a hand while we wait for these cookies to cool? Yum, it looks like they made some delicious cookies, friends. Ella didn't think this sounded very fun, but she couldn't think of anything better to do. Oh, all right, she said, and she followed her mother down the creaky stairs. The first thing Ella noticed was a dusty wooden hat box. The card taped to the top read, "To Ella from Grandma." Ella opened the box. Oh, Mom, look! Wonder what was in the box, friends? Do you have a guess what was in the box? Let's see what it was. Oh, yes! Her mother said, "I remember that hat very well. Grandma used to call it her good luck hat. It was a very special hat to her. I'm sure that's why she decided to give it to you." Ella held the hat to her chest. Then she put it on her head. "I love it," she said. "I absolutely love it." Friends, what color is Ella's hat? You're right, it's red. And who did her mom say sent it to her? Do you remember who gave it to her? It was her grandma. On the first day of school, Ella looked like all the other elephants in her class, except for one thing. Oh, look at all the elephants. Can you see them? There are lots of them. Looks like they're walking on this path into their school. Do you have a long path like this walking into your school? I know at the school that I teach at, we have a long hallway, and all my friends have to walk down that long hallway because we are the last classroom in the hallway. But maybe if you're not in my class, you have something different. Maybe you have a long sidewalk to walk into your classroom, or maybe you walk to school. Maybe you have a long street. This one has a long path all the way. Ella wore her hat. Oh, that's what made her different. That's right. They were asking why she was different. The teacher asked if she wouldn't mind sitting in the desk in the back row so she wouldn't block the other students' view of the chalkboard. Can you find where Ella's sitting, friends? Can you point to her? Yep, there she is in her big red hat. When the class was settled, Mrs. Briggs said, "We have a new student joining us today. Ella, will you come sit in the front and tell us something about yourself?" Ella wasn't expecting this. She felt her face turn red. She took a deep breath and walked up the aisle, but on her way she tripped and fell, landing flat on her belly. "Belinda Blue," scolded Mrs. Briggs. "I saw that. Shame on you." Belinda slumped down in her seat. "I didn't mean to," she said. Poor Ella, that probably made Ella feel really sad. At recess, Ella sat by herself, hoping that someone might ask her to play, but nobody did. Then Belinda Blue, the biggest elephant in the whole school, walked up to Ella and said, "That's a dumb hat. It doesn't even match your uniform." "Yeah," said Belinda's friend, Tiki, pushing her up her glasses. "But maybe she thinks she looks elegant in it," Belinda shouted. "I know, let's call her Ella the Elegant Elephant." "Yeah," Tiki laughed, "Ella the Elegant Elephant." They were not being very kind to Ella, were they, friends? My heart is feeling bad for poor Ella. When Ella got home from school, her mother asked, "How was your day?" "Terrible," said Ella. "Everyone made fun of my hat." "Well, they must not know how special it is to you. Maybe you should tell them." "I don't want to," said Ella. Her feelings were too hurt. "My dearest Ella," her mother sighed, "things will get better, I promise." The next day at lunch, Ella sat by herself eating her sandwich. Here she is over here. Then something hit her in the back of her head, a big red ball. "Hey, Ella, the Elegant!" shouted Belinda. "Want to play ball?" Ella didn't want to play ball with Belinda, but she was afraid if she didn't, she'd get teased even more. So she said, "Okay," and tossed the ball back. But Belinda did not toss the ball back to Ella. Instead, she threw it on top of the safety wall that surrounded the schoolyard and said, "Well, why don't you climb up there and get it then?" "But it's against the rules," said Ella. "Nobody's looking," huffed Belinda. But Ella said meekly, "I think it might be dangerous." Belinda rolled her eyes. "It's not dangerous. Just climb right up and throw it back down." What could be more simple? What do you think, friends? Should she climb up there? Might be scary. Well, if it's so simple, said Ella, why don't you do it? Tiki and the others turned and looked at Belinda. Well, fine, Belinda glared at Ella, but you flunked the test. Then she turned to her friends and shouted, well, don't just stand there, help me up. Oh goodness, look, these elephants are helping Belinda climb up there. How many elephants did she climb on, friends? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's at the very top. A crowd started to gather around. Everyone wondered what was going on. So Belinda started showing off, tossing the ball from hand to hand and hopping up and down just on one foot. See how easy it is, she exclaimed. But in all of her hopping and jumping around, Belinda lost her balance and slipped. Nobody knew what to do. Some of them ran to find a teacher. Some of them covered their eyes. But most of them just stared. Belinda started to cry. Ella felt sorry for her. Belinda wasn't as tough as she seemed. Before she had the time to think about what she was doing, Ella piped up, I'll help. She wasn't sure how, but she felt like she had to try. When Ella got up to the top, she said, okay, just grab my hand. Belinda did, and Ella started to pull her up with all of her might. But since Ella was so small and Belinda was so big, Belinda's weight pulled them both over the edge. Oh no. They fell and fell, and then something amazing happened. Friends, say that with me. Something amazing happened. I love that word. What happened that was amazing here? You're right. It looks like her hat turned into a parachute for them. Nobody, not the elephants watching from the schoolyard, not the elephants sunbathing on the beach, not even Belinda or Ella could believe they were safe. When Ella got home from school, she told her mother about the exciting events of the day. Her mother scooped Ella up in her arms and said, Grandma's hat must be really good luck. What did you say? For it was very brave, but you must promise me something, Ella. Promise me you will never climb the safety wall again. What happened today was magical and not likely to happen twice. Don't worry, said Ella. I promise I won't. The next morning, Ella woke up much later than usual. She ran all the way to the school, but she still didn't make it in time. When she burst through the classroom door, she couldn't believe her eyes. Even Belinda was smiling beneath the brim of her purple hat. Mrs. Briggs said, "Since we can't all sit in the back row, I'll have to ask you all to remove your hats just for during class." So everyone sat down, and when Ella looked up at the chalkboard, she giggled. Look at all those hats, friends. Things had definitely gotten better. And look right here on the chalkboard, friends. You know what it says? It says, "We love Ella." That's the end of our story today, friends. And here's the hat box that her hat came from and her grandma gave to her. It says, "To Ella from Grandma." That's such a nice story, friends. All right, friends, I want to see what hats you have today. Do you have any special hats that you love at your house? I love hats. I have a lot of hats at my house. So today, if you want to send me a picture, I love a picture of you in your favorite hat. Maybe it's a red hat, maybe it's pink, maybe it's blue. You tell me which hat you like the best. And tomorrow, Sally and I will be reading to you If I Could Keep You Little. This looks like it might be about a mommy and a little boy or little girl. We'll find out tomorrow, okay? All right, Sally, are you ready to say goodbye to our friends? Would you like to come say goodbye? Yeah. All right, friends. Sally and I are saying goodbye. See you tomorrow.